Matthew 22:36 through 40. Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? Jesus replied, Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. People spend their whole life searching for answers. Who they are and what their purpose is. What's next and when is it going to happen to me? The curiosity leaves you in wonder and you start to miss the moments right in front of you. There's actually a new form of anxiety called purpose anxiety, which is the anxious feeling of not knowing your purpose in life. And over just the recent years, I've started to realize that us Americans are very impatient people. We can get things so quickly now that we expect them in less than a second. Not only that, but we expect to know the whole picture. And when we don't, we start to freak out. I actually deal with a lot of worry about the future because I'm unable to see it right now. But could it be that it's because we're not supposed to see it right now? Psalm 119:105 says, Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. This verse changed my life when I realized how much power it has. I think that happens often. We become so familiar with knowing things that we fail to realize how much power and purpose they have. I had really been struggling with this whole idea of wanting to know what was next, but being scared of what it was because I wasn't trusting God. I was constantly praying and really asking for help when God spoke to me through a video explaining this verse I had always known but never realized its power. The video was talking about how the world is just so heavy right now, and how the girl in the video was feeling so fearful of the future, and just really wishing that God was this blinding light so that she could see the whole way through. But she said, instead, God is a lantern. Why though? Like why does God have to be a lantern? Why can't he be this light that I can see all the future? Because we are meant to hold God through every step and to trust him every step of the way. This lantern that God is for each step shows that God is always with us, and we just have to trust him with the next step and the next one and the next one. We have such a limited view on our lives in comparison to God. He knows everything and has already written our lives out in such grand detail. There's actually a verse that talks about how our thoughts are not his thoughts and his ways are way higher than our own. So why can't we just trust him with our lives? This goes to show that purpose anxiety has no hold on us, for God graciously gives us insight into his purpose for our life and the endless promises he makes us in his word. With this opportunity, however, so many people start to twist the importance. When it comes to purpose, so many people mistakenly think about themselves and how it's my purpose, and all about what my purpose can do for me, because they think this life is all about them, but it's far from the truth. This life God so graciously gifted us with is about him, our creator, and how we can honor him with our lives. The moment we start thinking it's our purpose over his purpose for our life is the moment we mistake God's call to be all about us and what we can do when it's actually all about God and what he can do. So let's think back a little bit to the life that we should be reflecting, which is Jesus' life. While on earth, Jesus not only taught so many people, performed amazing miracles, and sacrificially died on the cross for us, he also showed us how to truly live abundantly. He even said that the greatest commandment for our life is to love God above all else and to love your neighbor as yourself. The really cool thing about this purpose that God gives us is how God can place you literally anywhere he chooses and you can live it out. In my life right now, I find that God is doing just that. After high school, I've unexpectedly been home for 2 extra years to do community college. Therefore, I'm able now to love my family better than I probably could have if I was away at a 4-year college, which is where I thought I needed to be. I think this season of community college that I dreaded all of my senior year of high school has actually been exactly where I needed to be all along. There have been lessons I've learned, people I've met, moments of obedience to God, and places I've been that I would have never experienced at a different college. Last year, as all my friends went off to big colleges and starting their college careers and doing all the fun things that I always wanted to do, I was at home. I felt lonely at first, and I even felt like I was missing out on what God was doing in my life away at college. However, it took losing everything to realize that God is all I'll ever need and that where he places me is where I am meant to be. I'm starting to recognize the intentionality behind God's plan for my life and where he leads me and plans me. My perspective of waiting on God is becoming more believing God for, and it has shown me gratitude, celebration, faithfulness, goodness, and a purpose. I'm starting to really see God's hand in things rather than just thinking it's all just happening that way. If I had gone off to college somewhere else, I would have never been in class with all of you guys, or been home with my friends when they visited, or met students in Professor Hallquist's speech class last semester that have just impacted me so much and that I had the chance to impact as well. They gave me so much encouragement where I needed it, and I'm forever grateful. I also would not have had the chance to be in such amazing Bible studies that I'm plugged into at home, with wise people who pour into me, love me, and encourage me so well. These are all things God intentionally placed in my life in this season, and I know that to be true. I'm able to look at it as a blessing because God has given me this time on my own to grow in my relationship with Him and to love the people that are placed in my life right now. Over the past summer, I felt God really tug on my heart to start my own business. I was so scared. I kept questioning if I was capable and what people would even think if I did something like that. But after so much prayer, I heard God whisper, "I have you," and He certainly does. I told God I would give Him all the glory, and I was making this business to solely bring Him honor and praise for what He has done in my life and the gifts He's so graciously given me. I'm able to be living out His purpose for my life of loving Him and others faithfully, through honoring Him with the gifts He's given me and sharing the Word of God with all those that follow my shop. Through Colossians 3, I am able to encourage people that while they are putting on a super cute new sweatshirt like the one I'm wearing, they also need to put on compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, patience, forgiveness, peace, gratitude, and love. It's truly been so special to see the blessings that have come from this business and the way it has grown me as a person. There has not been a week I haven't had an order. It's so overwhelming, but that's just like His love. Overwhelming and never ending. I even just recently reached a huge goal that I had, and I have been able to share my faith through posts, praises, and gratitude, as well as Christ-centered designs. There's even some big things coming soon that I'm really excited and hopeful for. I really trust God and believe this business is what He has called me to do in this season of my life. One night this past August, I felt very called to lead a high school girls' Bible study for any school to come to in Williamson County, and it has been such a blessing. It's given me community, confidence, and opportunities to grow. Seeing God bless those girls and our time together in so many ways has shown me that God divinely placed me at home in this season so that I could be here to pour into them, lead them to know God's purpose for their life, and to help show them how to prioritize God and eternity over partying and temporary things that they may struggle with after their high school career. I'm able to show them the love of God and teach them about His promises, which is one of the most important things you can do in life. I'm also able to help them understand how they can have a fun, full, and abundant life being led by God. It's crazy how when something is going to benefit and grow God's kingdom, the enemy attacks the hardest. After each week of the Bible study, a wave of discouragement and doubt comes through. The enemy lies about how no one got anything out of the message, or about how what I'm doing is not even having an impact on the girls that come, or that the message was just not good enough. And literally every single time, God sends me encouragement through somebody else, and it's just the coolest thing. I was at a pumpkin patch a few weeks ago, really down about the Bible study because I was just having such a busy week and it was hard to find a day that worked. One of the dads of the girls that come, that I had never met before, came up to me and my dad and told me that his daughter comes home every week and goes on and on about what she learned at Bible study, and he was just so happy that she had something like that to go to. It made my whole life. You never know the impact you have on someone, so keep living intentionally and with purpose. So when I'm asked who I am, where I'm going, and how I'm going to get there, it's only appropriate that I say I'm a sojourner on this earth, living out God's purpose for my life to help further His kingdom and love. I'm going where He leads, and I'm trusting Him along the way. And the only way I'll ever get there is by the grace of God and His guidance, love, wisdom, truth, and protection. And just as it says in the psalm, great is God's faithfulness to me.